My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to Dicey Dungeons. We're going to be playing the second episode of the Jester. A straightforward adventure for a straightforward warrior. But you're a Jester, so... The rules are standard, apparently. So I imagine we're probably playing a warrior deck, but with the Jester mechanics. Oh, it's you again. How's the despair going? What about the sickening waves of regret?
Well, pretty much under control, to be honest.
You know, this is going to end terribly.
I was already trapped for eternity. This is ending terribly.
Well, next time round, maybe you won't have a cushy job in the introductions and razzle-dazzle department. You'll be down on level 1, hanging out with the frog and that unbearable space guy. All day, every day.
You know what they say? A change is as good as a holiday.
Well, you should be enjoying this change I'm making to the rules then. In you go. We don't even have a frog in the annoying spaceman here on the first floor. So let's have a look at the... okay, that's interesting. Okay, so we have exactly one card. Hey, this could be a little bit of a problem. Reroll this, see if I end up with a 6. Otherwise, just keep the 5. So we keep the highest one and reroll the lowest one at all times. Ooh, yikes! Good hit, enemy. Fury, so I do actually have doubling the next action. Interesting. But I actually do have to hit Thorns again. I've taken a pretty significant amount of damage in that turn. I actually might need Fury to win against the Gardener. Shovel. That's the deck. If I get a 6 in the shovel on the first turn, we'll be okay. Alright. The enemy actually can't kill me because they literally only have one attack they can do on their turn. And as long as I get anything in the next turn, I should be fine to kill them back. Even if I was weakened. Okay. So, how is this ultimately going to end up functioning? I don't have equipment and I don't have a backpack. So it does have to be the deck mechanic just works as the Jester. But I can't imagine that we're going to be able to pair anything. So maybe it's just you have to use your trashiest stuff first, like your worst cards first. Let's go Marshmallow. Try and get some options for new equipment first. Good. Oh, perfect. Excellent. So is it going to randomize? Is it going to randomize the deck every time? Hang on. That is to say, the order in which we draw the pieces of equipment. Not so certain they're actually going to bother with that. Only 4 damage taken. Yeah, this was a really, really good Marshmallow fight. Super smooth. Even got to keep my Fury. Very little damage. Stereo Head can weaken us. It's not too impactful though. Weakening the enemy, however, is pretty impactful. Sweet. Because their move that they use weakens us, as does damage, but when you weaken the enemy, it does no damage, weakens us, that's fine. We can still kind of try and kill over the top. Yeah, I should have re-rolled the 2 a bunch of times there. I wasn't yet thinking about the fact that the sword had a maximum of 3 as its input there. That's fine though. Goodbye. And we level up. So in fact, it was even better to take damage on that turn. Boomerangs. So we have seen before how effective Boomerang can be when paired with the Limit Break Fury, so that you can get 2 Limit Break Furies out on the same turn. You can do a ridiculous amount of damage. Nudge. Let's ignore that for the moment. So I don't think I have a single thing I would want to reduce. Destroy a card, roll 2 1s or a healing crystal. So destroying a card would be getting rid of the sword right now. it's really hard to do that because currently I would have 3 pieces of equipment out, right? And those are the 3. My hand is just these 3. And if I'm rolling 3 die in a turn as the Jester, which I currently am, I need 3 slots to be able to capitalize on it. However, obviously the sword is pretty bad compared to the other 2 pieces of equipment, and I'm not going to want it in the deck overall ongoing. So I'll kill the baby squid, I'll remove the sword afterwards, and then go to the next floor. It's going to be a little... like, the first fight next floor is going to be a little difficult. I should have Fury at the end of this combat, otherwise, yeah, things could get real rough. Okay. Do that to charge my Fury. And then I'm just going to kill the enemy, completely ignoring the fact that I was trying to get Fury at the end turn there. God. Ryan. Alright. But I will remove the sword. Sorry. I think that Daddy wins out. It has to. Okay, it's got to be 2 fights against level 3s before I get my first upgrade, or I fight a Dryad in order to get a piece of equipment. It has to be the Dryad first. Sweet. Keep 5 happily. Alright. So if she hits me with a 5 or a 6 this turn... oh, beautiful! Barely anything. I was going to have my Fury ready, but no. I'm more than willing to accept the enemy not dealing enough damage for me to have it. Roll that. If I get a 3, it's better than a 4. I'm gonna save myself 1 HP. Still worth going, especially because it's like very, very small investment of time and action to min-max that there. Spatula, flip the dice upside down. Yeah, that's just it's just a more reliable reroll. Sweet. 2 becomes a 5 off the spatula. No. I reroll the 2 because if I get a 1 or a 6, then it becomes a 6. Sweet. Should I double Fury? So 7 to... wait. Was it 7 experience that I needed last floor? And then I took on a 2 and a 2, and this is my 3rd. Okay, yeah, so I actually need to go for as much damage as I can possibly do. And, like, double boomerang should be fine. Uh-huh. And then... double vacuum for the kill, and I'll heal back up. I really should have had another voice ready. This is why I want to have the full list of characters, just so that I can like ascribe voices to them and then just have it all set from then on. What would a vacuum be on the fly? No clue. How embarrassing. If you get back to the rumors, I'll never hear the end of it. Unfortunately, it's also like you want the voice to be related to the characterization, but you don't know the characterization yet as you read the first line. So if I upgrade equipment, obviously it can't reduce size because there's no backpack and there's no like size component here going on at all. So if it can't do that, then what is the shovel gonna upgrade to? Because hammer upgrades half size occasionally. The shovel, I have to imagine, would follow the same trend, but can't right now. Put that upside down to get a 4, and then that's lethal with the boomerang and saves me 2 HP damage against myself, as well as keeps Fury for the next combat. Yeah, if the upgrade is just upgrades to taking an even in order to weaken rather than a 6, I'm uninterested. Claw versus destroy a card versus Iron Shield. We don't have enough to take a card as well as destroy one. Okay, so that would upgrade to only be 3. Yeah, so Boomerang being upgraded is really, really important to us. It'll save us like between 3 and 9 damage each fight. Shovel being upgraded is, yeah, on even, uninterested. And Spatula is also pretty uninteresting now. The only other consideration would be the possibility of getting Claw and then upgrading it. But 4 damage and 1 poison or whatever Claw becomes on the upgrade isn't that useful. Unless Claw became reusable, it's still not that useful. Or maybe increase the amount of damage it does. Iron Shield just takes whatever you do and gives you that shield. That would actually be really, really helpful for our defensive factor. It's useful, I have to take it. It's too useful. Get an extra shield on that Iron Shield. No. We'll go Boomerang and then Iron Shield. So this is, yeah, we need the Iron Shield if we are going to go Berserker with this build. I think, at least. Super Alchemist. Good to see you. So I level up only after all of these combats are complete. I have Fury ready. And the Super Alchemist I should really shut down really, really quickly, though. My concern is whether or not I go for the Super Alchemist or Aurora first, but the fact that the Super Alchemist gets an extra die and the fact that I already have Fury charged, I think means that I go here. I think this enemy is probably more threatening. Oh, gosh. Pulls that. Still gonna try and get as much damage out as possible. There we go. Hopefully I have lethal next turn. Gosh, that was a really poor roll on our part. Oh, never mind. The enemy only has access to Bear Potion. So, every super enemy that I've seen before this doesn't change their equipment. Now I know that this one does. At least I have access to that information at this point in time. Finally. Okay. Let's see if we can get another 6. No, fine. Let's weaken the enemy. Let's pop a 12 on him too. Alright, never mind, we're fine. Take a little bit of damage, but ultimately we do get out of this fight pretty easily. That Fury is almost charged back up. In fact, it will be. I assume it'll be charged up at the start of the next fight. Like, we still take the damage, so I have to imagine we still get the credit towards our limit break. Despite the fact that the fight ended. There's the second claw. I didn't take the first one, though. This gives me something to do with low die. But it's still pretty poor. I'm gonna ignore that for the moment. Aurora is largely going to force me to get like a really big Iron Shield early. Yeah. So I'm just gonna quickly get that one done. Ooh, and I even get to weaken the enemy. Lovely. The weather. I'm not sure if I've ever actually let Aurora get to that, but I suspect that just means she goes from crying probably to like a sunny day. It's like the crying as rain, and obviously there's hail and stuff coming out. There, I guess, is sun behind her clouds hair. So she already kind of embodies all aspects of the storm or the climate. So I don't know what the change weather effect would be. Oh, it would actually probably change the rest of her loadout, right? Because the rest of the loadout is usable once. Yeah, once per battle, once per battle. So it'd be mood change, and then it'd be like, you know, either frost or shock. Or maybe earth, but I don't suspect earth is related to any weather condition that can be summoned by Aurora here. Okay, weaken the enemy again. Fury is ready in 12 HP. That's a lot. Should take it slow. I think a 5 goes in there. Okay. Fine. 6 weakens, and then I will take the 10 damage when offered. Is this gonna kill me? No, the shield has been really useful, but you get to change the weather. Okay, so that was just a complete refresh. Fine. Flip that upside down, and... totally safe to finish the fight. Beautiful. Alright, the snowman is the final on the level, but I do get to heal up directly before you, as well as have a look at a trade. Boomerang for whip. Boomerang pre-upgraded, whip pre-upgraded. Now, interestingly, boomerang is half size here, but don't compare the size. Not important at all. So is boomerang or whip better? The fact that the whip doesn't deal damage to me, but inflicts burn, and the fact that I don't have frost in this build, so I don't have like a great reason not to go for burn, seems good. I'll take it. What are you down here again? No, my goal is just like get the giant status effects, I guess. It also does help, by the way, that that's fire and I'm about to fight a snowman. So it's a pretty easy push through this fight that I've just been gifted. I'll take 5 shield rather than re-roll again. Oh, never mind. Gotta remember how many cards are left in the rest of the deck. Ouch. Yeah, so the enemy got access to 3 odds that turn, 2 of those odds being the highest odd that the enemy can, which just makes life roll not... Oh, gosh. Never mind. All's well that ends well. Enemy is incapable of using anything except for that 3. And even then, only hits with shield. Goodbye, snowman. You know, my friends call me Frosty. I don't think you're a friend yet, but maybe you could be. That's charming, frankly. I'm actually a little taken aback. Shield bash, bash with shield, dude. I mean, I only have 1 source of shielding in the entire deck. I don't know if I can take shield back yet. I don't have an upgrade available on this floor either, so I can't just take shield bash and then upgrade it. It needing doubles is a problem. Is it? Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of rerolls and we have the spatula, so we can fix to get to doubles. It's just, I don't generate enough shield in a turn for shield bash to... If the enemy does more than 5 damage in a turn, I never deal any damage to shield bash. So, the way I was trying to express myself, and clearly could not. Spatula, yeah, I could get an extra effect out of it, but it's fine as it is. I actually kind of don't want it to have more charges, because then I have to flip 3 times if I want to get rid of it to get to the next card. I think I just upgrade the Iron Shield, just get a little extra block. Cool. Wisp. It's my first time seeing the Wisp, I believe. So Cowboy, I don't have the ability to freeze the enemy at all. If I weaken the enemy, though, that could be pretty good against the Cowboy. Stick him up, Kodja. We just keep rolling until we get a 1 or 6. Well, keep rolling the lowest until we get a 1 or a 6. Damn it. So 5 apiece. I think I prioritize defense. This enemy doesn't ramp up, right? No. Yeah, I prioritize defense over damage. Ugh, that's harsh. Thankfully, blocked half of it. Already have fewer active, though. Come on. Gotta get one of the good ones. Okay, we have one good die so far. We'll leave the one there, because we can flip it upside down and make it worthwhile. To weaken the enemy. So if you weaken the enemy's Midnight Charm, it becomes 10 to roll 1/6, I think. Which just, it means the enemy only does 5 damage that turn. If you weaken 6 Shooter, I'm pretty sure maybe it only has one usage that turn. It seems either way that weakening the enemy is probably the most impactful thing I can do there. Let's see. Yeah, it can only be used once. Neat. Weaken out there and reroll for the 1 or the 6. Really would like to get the burns out. Oh! And we finally got that Iron Shield actually stacking up as well. Specifically having Fury and the Iron Shield makes me feel just really, really safe here. So 6 HP overall ended up being lost in this combat. Not a concern, not even slightly. Especially considering that was a level 5 enemy and I'm, you know, next to 2 level 4 enemies immediately thereafter. Kraken. Weakening the enemy doesn't necessarily hit the right thing. Whipped isn't that great against the Kraken. Yeah, the enemy could actually... The Kraken could be really bad for us. The Iron Shield is really helpful, but I'm going to fight the Wisp so I have more options before I go in there, especially this upgrade. I don't want, like, another run dying to the Kraken again. So the enemy's moves are Fool's Fire, Inflict Vanish, as well as 2 Burning Lights. I'm going to Fury that Shovel. Twice. Very happily. Oh. Incredible. So the enemy is strong against burn, so I think, yeah, strong against fire. Pretty sure they just take half damage from it entirely, but if it's the only thing I have to put the dice in, may as well do it anyway. What is Vanish? I almost don't want to know. Like, I don't want to find out. Yeah, they don't get much better than that. Or at least they're not likely to get much better than that. I also need to figure out, when this game says strong and weak, does it double? Does it half? Is it 50% extra? How does it round? So I need to start looking at the actual HP value before I do something that the enemy is not weak to. That said, this turn I have to go for killing the enemy, right? Oh no, but I can't, because of the whip, of course. I'll weaken you. And then 3. So 3 does 2 damage to you. So if it does halve, then it rounds up. So now I just need to use a 4 and see if that does 2. And then a 6 to see if that does 3 would also be helpful. Just in case it's not as simple as, you know, double damage or half damage. And it's something more specific, but it just happens to be rounding off to the right number. Fine. That'll get it done, and we will take with us a Fury for the next battle, as well as the ability to upgrade a card. Ooh. Why? What do I upgrade? I don't think I have anything that I want to upgrade at this point, but I have 2 upgrades available. God, I wish I had damage. Just like another damage card in the deck. I know I've turned them down. Yes, I am well aware. There could have been a circumstance where I was like, God, I wish I didn't have this card, but that's not the circumstance we're in. We're in the circumstance where I relied on my instincts of just don't have any cards. Who needs them? double the Iron Shield on turn 1. Huge. Monumentally huge right there. The enemy is so many overwhelms away from actually dealing any damage to me. I need 2 of my dice, but at the very least, not being able to deep seer hell. Pretty good. Can't guarantee any of these enemies are weakened. Guarantees the weakened, though. Doesn't even show me the new value. Oh my god. And we actually got a decent amount of block out of that as well. Damn, for a turn where we were double blinded, that actually worked out quite well. Overwhelm gets weakened and can't be used without a 6. Saves us 2 overwhelms that turn. Really, really impactful, as you saw. We are cursed at the moment, though. Yeah, I'll put that in there. Dang it, I was hoping that was going to be the one that got hit by the curse trigger. Yeah, those 3 overwhelms are annoying, but thankfully, completely shielded. Beautiful. Did not need to be as scared of the Kraken as I was, thankfully. Skeleton could still be a problem, though. You've got the 2-handed sword. There was like, there were 2 claws shown to me this entire run. How were you gonna take 2 claws, and each of which can only apply 1 poison per turn, and turn that into a deck that values blight? It's not happening. That just, it doesn't. So yeah, I think I just end up upgrading these final 2 cards. Fine. Whole deck's upgraded at least. I don't know how this does anything to a boss. I think I lost when I traded away the sword boomerang. The ability to deal that much damage in a single turn, especially like to Fury the sword boomerang and have that charge the Fury for something else, is the only way I think I was capable of killing bosses. That spatula is actually being quite useful. But only because I rolled awfully on that turn. That said, credit where it's due. Oh my gosh. Speaking of credit where it's due, damn. Good gosh. And absolutely nothing you can do on that turn. Yeah, weakening enemies, certain enemies when weakened, this is something that I think is going to be really important. Learning what the weakened version of each piece of equipment is. So Shriek requires a second 2, and 2-handed swords gets to a maximum of 3 for both of the inputs. That means that if I am in a fight like this, I can occasionally walk in and know, oh, weaken is actually the best thing that I can do in this fight, because it will prevent the enemy from ever taking a turn. Sometimes you do just have the ability to completely lock them out of the game like that. And it's super damn satisfying when you do. Okay. You could have gotten a curse off that turn if it wasn't for the weaken. That pesky weaken. Get us the good reroll. The good one. Guess that kind of counts. I was very much hoping that I would set the enemy up to only not being able to use 2 burning die, but turns out it didn't matter at all. Bye, skeleton. Maybe with the weaken and the 2 burning die every single round, we can do this. But also, we just got an extra dice that we can't do anything with. Literally nothing can be done with, because like 1, 2, 3. I have 5 dice. As long as all of those are filled, and they're always filled with something useful, there's nothing I can do. Another spatula does nothing. If this was just anything except for spatula, I think I would be much better off. All right, then. Jester versus Buster. Buster has 4 different attack options, all of which are the same. As a result, Weaken is going to do nothing in this combat, and the enemy is also strong against fire, so we lose. I'll, obviously try my absolute best, but... Oh, is it time for more fighting? I love fighting! Let's go! Buster is strong against fire, and, Whip is fire, so, that's a problem. That's a big old prob right there. Burn 2 of your die regardless. But yeah, look at the enemy moves. They're all the exact same, so whichever is weakened, they're just not going to use that one. The burning die, they'll probably use that because it only costs them 1 HP in order to use it. Basically, unless my enemy rolls awfully, we lose this fight. But especially due to the fact that the enemy is, resistant to half of the damage that I have at the moment, trading the boomerang for the whip and losing physical damage, 12 physical damage in a turn, and picking up the fire damage, killed the run. Although, it's possible that picking up the whip saved the run earlier. Like, we wouldn't have lived this long if we didn't have the whip. It's difficult to know, though. You can't necessarily always track those actions and actually tell whether or not you've had a positive impact. I mean, like, I'd weaken the enemy, but it does nothing. It actually does nothing at this point, so may as well get the burns off. Oh, wait, never mind. I weaken on even, so I already weakened. Beautiful. The enemy actually is rolling as poorly as I would need them to roll. I didn't want to mention it on turn 1, but on turn 2 there, like, you have to have noticed. That's a real bad roll. Uh-huh. I don't know why I went for the weaken. I guess more shields. Oh gosh, I had a 1. I could have spat. Dang it! We got 2 more out of something there. Hey, fire breath. Wow, you actually went for the weakened one. Thanks. That'll do it. 6, 6, and 1 more to round him out. I mean, my HP is doing okay, and my shield is just getting higher. Okay. Now the enemy is starting to roll some turns that do things. That said, they are using the weakened abilities, so it seems they're moving left to right. I guess, thanks, but the fact that they're not avoiding the weakened ones is jarring, but it is giving me hope. I'll say jarring hope any day. So don't even burn 2 die this turn. Yeah, that final one's not going to be useful, but yeah, that's only 8 damage and burn 2 die. Those die actually get me my fury as well, by the way. I might want to explicitly do it on Iron Shield, because the only way I... Well, the enemy's not killing me next turn anyway, so maybe I don't need to do it on Iron Shield. Let's double up the shovel, I think. And keep re-rolling to see if I get... That'll do. All right, Buster. Oh, beautiful. Weakens the front two in particular and leaves the enemy just short of even getting the final fire breath off. All right, we got really, really lucky in the rolls here. And also it was really, really lucky for us that despite my misunderstanding of the way in which Buster was going to interact with being weakened from the shovel, it actually worked out much better than that. We got quite lucky here. Quite appreciative.
Ah, hello again. That was great. Anyway, I got it wrong last time, and I meant to tell you to spin the wheel. And also tell you it's definitely possible that you might win, and it's not rigged at all. Okay, now I meant to say, I'm so sorry. Not this time, but we're excited to see you soon for some more Dicey Dungeons. Oh wow, that's even true. I am excited to see you soon.
Jester rolls out the second episode and use your limit break twice in one turn. I could have sworn I already had that one. Cactus, their childhood pet. I never had a pet, but I guess I used to collect tiny pebbles and give them names. They have a secret shame of trying very hard to seem brave, but really they're so worried about whether or not they're good at fighting. Their karaoke go-to is anything by Lizzo, all right? And their reasons for entering the dungeons: I wanted to push myself to conquer my fears. It's been okay, I guess. Yeah, I can do it. Hey, Cactus, you're the most relatable so far. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, by the way. My name is Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Dicey Dungeons. There is a playlist in the description down below with all of my content on the game past, present, and future. Next episode, we will move on to, I believe, the third episode of The Warrior. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.